Welcome back to everyone. Welcome back to the series of basics of biology. In this video, let us talk about the topic of the scale of life. So little about myself. If you have already known, just skip this part. I am Subhash Kumar. I have completed my masters in environmental sciences. I have cleared SET in my second year of masters itself. So I have more than 3 years of experience in biology. So with all the experience that I have, I think I can make the biology subject easy for you. So in this series of basics of biology, we have 4 modules or 4 units. First one is the chemical and energetic foundation. We are here now, and I will cover the remaining 3 soon. So in that unit, we have 10 topics. So first topic is already done. This is the second topic, where the topic is the scale of life. That means the hierarchy. Let us go ahead to explore what hierarchy is. From atoms to organisms. I think you all might have heard these 2 words, atom and organism. Organism is a living being with so many life systems, or the systems supporting life in that living being itself. That is organism. Life is built on a logical nested hierarchy. So if you see the image here that I have shown, you can see the atoms here, and these are the molecules. These are also macromolecules. These are micromolecules. Micro means small, macro means big. These are smaller molecules. These are bigger molecules, and these molecules combine to form the cell organelles, and we will talk about what cell organelles make and what is the next hierarchy will be spoke in the next slides. Okay, for now remember that life is built on a nested hierarchy where every level is connected to the level below it. Okay, so the whole video rolls over on the same topic of the connection between the building blocks, the connection between different hierarchical levels. Okay, so this system organizes life from the simplest block, which is the atom, to the most complex organism. You feel you are nothing most of the times, right? But it is not true. You don't know what is happening in your body actually. Your body is a very complex machine, which is complex than any other thing that you can see outside. Everything that man has made is comparatively less complex when it comes to the comparison to the living organisms and their body. Okay, so you are not useless, you are valued, but the thing is, you must know what your value is. So know it and streamline it in the best possible way that you can shine. Each new level builds upon the last in the sense here, the meaning of this last is previous. So creating new, more complex functions. So this process of building a new things depending upon the previous blocks is known as the concept of emergence. The concept of emergence. What is emergence? We'll talk about this in the further slides. Fine. I have repeated this line, which is very important. So note this down somewhere or give your focus to this. Each new level builds upon the last, creating new and more complex functions. Okay, that is emergence. We will explore the ladder of complexity step by step in the upcoming slides. So the concept and the emergent properties. What is the concept here? New functions that emerge from the interaction of smaller particles. New functions emerge from the interaction of small parts, and a single component does not have these properties on its own. For example, I'll give you an analogy to understand this very easily. For example, you have to prepare biryani at your home. So you will use rice, vegetables, oil, spices, salt, everything, right? So in that process, can rice have all the properties a biryani can have? Can vegetables have all the properties that a biryani can have? So all these mixing up together to give the end product so-called biryani, and there are so many other things that made it. There are other components which gave rise to the biryani at the end. So biryani is the end product. So for that end product, there are a lot of ingredients required, and those ingredients cannot be the whole item that is being prepared by the end. So there will be one statement, the whole is always greater than its sum of all the parts. So this is where it is important. This is what it means. All the components may make biryani, but biryani is something far better than all these individual components together, right? So this is the central rule of life's hierarchy. Emergence is the central rule of hierarchy. Example, a cell is alive, but its individual molecules are not. For example, you have your body. If I take out your heart and keep it outside, if I look at your heart alone, can I say that your heart is a living thing? No, right? The same. All these things make up a human being, but all of them separately are pointless. Okay, next, the hierarchy of life. First, to have clear visuals, I have divided this hierarchy of life into two parts, and this is a sequence. No need to worry about it. You need not write as parts when you are writing in your notebook or when you are writing in your exam. This is all a single sequence. Okay, next. First thing is the atoms, the fundamental units of matter. If I have to give the definition of atom, what will be your definition? Just write it down. Don't copy it from here. So atom is the simplest molecule that can't be cut further, is my statement for atom. Okay. So such smaller particles will make up molecules. So the group of atoms bound together to make molecules, and then H2O. What is the name of the H2O? Comment below. Okay. Macromolecules. And those micromolecules forms a larger molecule, which is macromolecule. The large complex molecules like DNA and proteins are the best example for macromolecules. And organelles. All these macromolecules combines together to form a organelle. Organelles can also be termed as little organs, okay, within the cell that perform the specific job. The example is nucleus. So those cell organelles are within the cells that perform their specified jobs. Next, cell organelles forms a cell, and that cell is nothing but the basic structural and functional unit of life, structural and functional unit of all the living organisms. If it is a living organism, it is having cell. Take it for granted. No other definition. Okay. What is a tissue? Group of similar cells working together is called a tissue, and different tissues makes up an organ, and these different organs makes up organ system. Different organs makes up the organ system. So let me explain this in detail. We have spoke about different things now, right? Let us see the first one, which is atom. Atoms gives rise to molecules. Molecules gives rise to macromolecules. And these macromolecules gives rise to cell organelles. And these cell organelles gives rise to cells. Cells gives rise to tissues, and these tissues gives rise to organs, and these organs gives rise to organ systems, and these organ systems ultimately gives rise to organism. So here comes the important point now. Atoms of same or different type. Atoms of same or different type makes molecules. Molecules of same or different type makes macromolecules. Macromolecules of same or different types makes up cell organelles. From here, the cell organelles of different types, Definitely there are different cell organelles to make up a cell. Okay, single type of cell organelles can't make a cell, and the same cells makes up tissue, and different tissues makes up an organ, different organs makes up a single organ system, and here different organ systems will make an organism. But this is not the end. This is not the end. Different organisms makes up a population. Different populations makes up an ecosystem. Different ecosystems makes up a biosphere. We'll discuss about this in the last slide. Okay, I think I'm very clear now. If not, go back, rewind and watch this video again, because you have to understand this very well. If you understand this, your understanding for the environment chapter and your understanding for almost all the things in biology will be very easy. Okay, that is the reason why I'm explaining these basics. Okay, next, the organization. The organ systems works in harmony to create the complete individual living being. What if your digestive system is not cooperating with the respiratory system? What if your excretory system is not coordinating with the nervous system? So all the systems together has to work, then only the living organism can survive. So that is harmony. The understanding between the different systems is nothing but the harmony. An organism can survive, grow and reproduce. Survival, growth and reproduction. These three are the main aspects of the living organisms, and it represents the full expression of all preceding levels of organization. If an organism can't go through these three things, which are survival, growth and reproduction, if an organism cannot perform these three, the purpose of this levels of organization is useless. Okay, next. So if we can again recap in detail, at chemical level, the atoms. Carbon is the backbone of life. If you take any living organism or if you take any organic particles, they will definitely have carbon. That is the reason why you call the chemistry part where the carbon is involved as organic chemistry or carbon chemistry. Okay, so the life is built upon carbon. Its ability to form 4 strong bonds creates complex chains and rings. So here this concept is about the valency. If anybody knows the definition of valency, please comment down there. Okay, if not, comment valency. I will pin the comment the definition of valency, the easiest definition. Okay, next, the molecules. Best example is water. H2O is the solvent of life. Remember this formula H2O. This will be helpful in photosynthesis also and respiration reaction also. Okay, water is known as the solvent of life, and its polarity dissolves substances and transports nutrients, regulates the temperature. All these things will be done by the water. What are the functions of water here? It dissolves the substances, it carries nutrients and it regulates the temperature also. And macromolecules, proteins are the best examples. These are the workhorses of the cell. So all the things that are actually performed in the cell are by the macromolecules. They act as enzymes and they provide good structure and they transport the signals as well. So this is the role of macromolecules. Okay, next, the spotlight on the cellular level where life begins. So in the before slide we spoke about the chemical aspects. where they are non-living but they are supporting life. They may be lifeless, but they are definitely supporting something which is alive. Okay, the cell is the first level of organization that is considered to be alive. So if we go back to the slide where I wrote on a black screen all the organization, at one point you came to see the organization. At one point you can see the life, and that point is cell. Okay, and it is the basic unit of structure and function for all the life. So what is the very basic definition of a cell? Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. And the organelles, so called nucleus or mitochondria, they are the organelles, and they are the perfect example of this hierarchy. Next, non-living parts. There are a lot of non-living parts in the cell which are organizing. So if you can see this diagram and you can understand, what we can see from the outside is only the cell, but to make that cell alive, there are a lot of things going on underneath inside that cell. Okay, there are different organelles. Okay, and for those organelles there is something smaller, so called macromolecules. Now this is all about hierarchy again. So whatever we are seeing is not a simple thing. So the spotlight at the organism level. So we have seen the chemical level, cellular level, and now we came to the organs. Okay, so the tissues. I told you tissues are made up of what kind of cells? Same cells. Tissues are made up of same cells. So the similar cells group together to form a tissue, and here we have taken the example of muscle fibers. These are muscle fibers in your muscles. Okay, these are actually reason for you to lift the weights, for you to move your hands, move your body, everything. Any muscle movement is done by actually these fibers in your muscles. Okay, next, these tissues makes up the organs. So different tissues of different type combine to form the organ, like heart with a complex role. So if you observe your organs, nothing else can replace those functions. Even if something is replacing, it is too expensive and it is not standard. So that is the beauty what you are carrying within you. You are not useless, you are valued. Next, the organ systems. Multiple organs, that means different organs like stomach and intestines works together in a system to make a large scale function. So this is what happens in a family. If father is working alone, it won't make sense. If mother is working alone, it won't make sense. If the kids are struggling a lot to do something, it won't make sense. But if four of them together can do something, that can be done easily within the blink of the moment, right? So that kind of coordination is important, and that coordination is shown in your body. That is how all the organ systems are connected together with very close relation. That is why we are alive today. Beyond the organism, the hierarchy does not stop at the organ. I told you just before that black slide. Organisms form the populations, populations form the communities, communities form the ecosystems, and ecosystem ultimately makes the biosphere. Bio means, you all know the meaning, right? The living spot on this earth is known as biosphere. Okay, I will make a dedicated video about biosphere. I will talk about it more in the next videos. And you can observe in this diagram that there is a single organism. There are a lot of organisms of same type. They are making populations. Such different populations makes up ecosystems. Such different ecosystems makes up the biosphere on this planet Earth. Okay. Next, what did we learn in this video? The hierarchy. The life is organized in a nested hierarchy with each level building upon the one below it. The interactions. The system is more than just a collection of parts. The interactions between the components are what creates a life. Interactions are not just the interactions, but they are the creators of life. Okay. Emergence. New complex functions. If you go in this hierarchy, wherever you are upgrading yourself step by step at every point, you can see something big happening. Atoms, they cannot do something on their own. So they are pairing up. They are making molecules. Molecules, they are somewhat better and they are having some shape, color, smell, something. So with that, they feel that they can't do anything again. They are pairing up to make cell organelles. Cell organelles, they are reasonably well. Though they are non-living, they are performing something useful. Then they felt that whatever they are doing is not sufficient. Then they are aggregating to form a cell. And now the cell is the living part. That living part alone is performing very great functions in some organisms, but in some multicellular organisms, it is not as efficient as it can be. Then it is pairing up to make tissues. Tissues are pairing up to make organs. Organs are pairing up to make organ systems. Organ systems are pairing up to make an organism. Now the whole organism has emerged. From this organism, organisms of same type make populations. Populations of different types makes communities. Communities of different types makes the environment, the ecosystem, and different ecosystems makes up the biosphere. Biosphere means the part of the earth where life exists is nothing but the biosphere. Now it comes to the efficiency. So do you think the world is being operated at its maximum efficiency? No, definitely not. So the organized system, what allows the incredible complexity, specialization and efficiency of the living organisms. We feel we are very efficient now, but there are changes needed still now. And if you observe, we keep on evolving. We will be evolving. There will be a lot of changes and the efficiency will always go on increasing. If the efficiency reduces, the race ends. And in this series of basics of biology, I will be talking about the carbohydrates next. Okay, carbohydrates will be our next topic. You can visit youreducator.com for the notes. Okay, or you can mail me if you want any topics, or commenting can be the very easiest way. Okay, just comment below whatever the topics you need so that I might make those topics as you need them now, or else I'll be going with my flow. Okay, next. So thanks for all the attention that you have paid till now. Don't forget to subscribe the channel if you watched the channel till here. I think it is very informative. And to download all the materials, just go through the pinned comment or go through the link in the description. Okay, thank you.